From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spire on the radio.
Hello to Sarah Harralson. How are you today?
I'm good, Ruben. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for letting me chat to you. So today, can you tell me roughly how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
I've been singing and performing music since I was very little. About 10 years old is when I wrote my first song. I did a lot of vocal lessons and then learned piano at 14. So I started in music at a very young age.
So I'm going to tell you about when we first started. So can you tell me more about your debut EP that you released called Finally Found?
Yes, that was my first EP that I released in 2014, shortly after I moved to Nashville. I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee, East Tennessee, which isn't too far from Nashville. And after I moved there, I decided to release my first EP. And that was about right before streaming started, too.
So I'm guessing you went into recording studios to record that debut EP. So what was that like?
Yeah, that was a great experience. I was attending Belmont University here in Nashville for music business. So I was actively pursuing music, and then I met Nick, who produced my first EP, and he's a great producer. He is producing music for Harry Styles and Cam and other artists now. So great engineer and producer. And at that time, he was kind of just starting out too. And so we produced it in his apartment. And it sounded great. But it's funny how you see a producer when they start out recording in their apartment and then finally getting a full studio. So it was just a fun experience recording it with him.
So can you tell me more about your debut single called Waterdown Whiskey?
Yes, yeah, I released that after my debut EP Finally Found. That was released in 2018. I started working with a producer by the name of Scotty Schultz. He was the drummer for Shooter Jennings. And basically, I found him because he heard a demo of my song Watered Down Whiskey and he loved it and he wanted to record a new version of it and release it. So I worked with him on my whole Watered Down Whiskey EP.
So I know that you've recently done recorded some music with Christina Bauer. So what was that like?
Yeah, I met Christine when we were both members of NSAI, which is a great songwriters association where you can meet other songwriters but also pitch your music to publishers and learn more about the music industry. So we were both pitching our song on an online pitch one day. And she reached out to me after, said she really loved my song Watered Down Whiskey and wanted to collaborate. And she actually lives in Nebraska, so we don't live in the same location. So we started doing a lot of writes over Skype at the time. And then she would come to Nashville and we would take trips and started doing shows together. And at that time is when we decided to take a lot of the songs that we had written together, mostly virtual, and record an album together. So she came to Nashville and we recorded our collaborative album, West of Me, which is out on all streaming platforms. And I co produced the album. So we had a lot of fun just making the tracks for the song and recording it together.
So can you tell me more about your debut album, West of Me?
Yeah, so West of Me, as I just mentioned, it was collaborative with Christine Bauer. So it's under both of our artist names, and some songs I take the lead, other songs she takes the lead. And all of the songs on the album are co written by myself and Christine.
So, can you tell me more about the single that was called the American I Knew?
Yeah, so that was a song I released. I believe I released it in 2020 or 2021, and that was a song I wrote shortly after the pandemic with the thought of just everything that was going on in the world, and specifically everything that was going on in America at the time. It made me kind of long for how America was in the past, in the sense of how everything seemed a little bit more innocent and we didn't have to deal with technology and everything that's going on online with the sense of technology and division between people in a political sense as well. So it was a song that was released around July 4th, just about kind of the longing for the innocence of America.
So, can you tell me more about the album that you released called Whiskey History?
Yes, yeah. So I've had a lot of releases, and Whiskey History I released in 2021. That's when I was working with my producer Johnny Garcia. At the time, he was also my publisher. He plays lead guitar for Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. So I was grateful to be working with him. He was a great mentor, and he produced most of the songs on the Whiskey History album. And that album meant a lot to me because a lot of the songs are very heartfelt for me, such as the title track, Whiskey History, which is about when you find someone in your life who gets you through the hard times you're going through, and it just makes you forget about all the bad times in life. So that was a very dear album to me to release.
So, I see you got a piano and a couple of guitars behind you there. So, do you play any musical instruments apart from the piano and the guitar behind you there?
Yeah, so piano was the first instrument I learned, and then I taught myself guitar shortly after, which kind of became my main instrument in Nashville. It's definitely a guitar town and just easier to lug around a guitar, so that's my main instrument. But I also have a ukulele behind me. Sometimes I play that, and aside from that, I also have my granddad's accordion. So my granddad was a bluegrass musician in East Tennessee, and he played accordion. So I have played it from time to time. I've played it in snippets of songs, such as my song Granddad, which is about him on my EP Finally Found, and in my song Big Orange Tennessee, I broke out the accordion to play it a little bit on the songs, but it's a very heavy instrument, so it's not really something I take on stage with me.
So, do you find songwriting easy or hard, or how do you find it?
I think songwriting has always come very natural to me. I started writing at a really young age, and for me, it was a great gateway for me to be able to express my emotions. I lived in a different kind of household when my parents split. It was just me and my mom. My brother and sister were much older than me, so they were already out of the house. And because of the different household I was in, it made me become quite a shy child. So I found music as a way to be able to express myself and express my emotions. So songwriting came very natural to me. And since I moved to Nashville, I do a lot of co writing now too. So I find there are days when we can face writer's blocks in a sense where it's hard to come up with something, but that's also why I love collaborating with other songwriters to see how they put their own spin on a song as well.
So, can you tell me more about the album? It's called Outside the Lines.
Yeah, Outside the Lines was my most recent album. I released it in August of last year. And it's definitely more of a concept album because every song on the album is a different color. And I'm someone who's always loved a lot of color and expressing myself through color. And I realized that I have a lot of songs that have colors in the title, so that's how the idea sparked to start this conceptual album. And then I wrote songs or co wrote songs for the other colors that I didn't already have. And then we started producing the music. So it's a country album, but not the entire album is country. There's some pop, there's some bluegrass in there. So I express myself for all the different genres of music I loved growing up, and my take on each color in the album.
So is there a favourite genre that you like to sing?
Country has definitely always been my favorite. I grew up around pop music and rock and with my granddad bluegrass, but I always fell in love with country music the most because of the storytelling aspect of it. And for me, I could always just relate to country songs so much more. And I love how people just tell honest stories in their songs with country music, and that's what I strive to do with my own music.
So can you tell me more about the single that you released with other artists called Stand Together?
Yes, yeah, I released Stand Together this summer, right before the opening ceremony of the Olympics, and it benefited the World Central Kitchen. So how that came about, I wrote that with my friend and co-writer James Tristan Redding. He's actually originally from the UK, and we just wanted to write a song about hope and peace and unity in the midst of everything that's going on in the world. So we wrote Stand Together, and our idea initially was to maybe just release it together. But then I decided that, well, maybe some other artists who are international artists should be on this song, and maybe they should be singing in their own language. So we have 10 artists from 10 different nations singing in 8 different languages on the song. So it was just a great way for people around the world to come together and work on this song and record in all parts of the world. And I produced the song and put together everyone's vocals, and we released it in July, and it benefited the World Central Kitchen. So it was a wonderful global music project I got to be a part of.
So do you enjoy producing, being a producer?
I do, yeah. During my time at Belmont University, my minor at university was actually production. So I learned a lot about producing, and I fell in love with it. I loved being able to produce and have a say in my own music and how it was produced as well. So I do a lot of my own vocal production here at home, or even working on demos for my own music, and I absolutely love it.
So can you tell me, you're also an author as well, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I'm always taking on different creative projects, and one of those projects was releasing a children's book at the beginning of this year. It was never my intention to release a children's book, but the idea came to me after I lost my mother. She really loved turtles, and then one day on the news, I heard a story about the symbiotic relationship between a butterfly and a turtle. And so turtles excrete salt from their salt glands, and it looks like they're crying, and butterflies get thirsty, so they like to drink these so-called tears from the turtles. And I thought that would be a really cute idea for a children's book, so I started writing it. And the concept of the book is an unlikely friendship between a turtle and a butterfly, and the turtle is very sad, but the butterfly drinks the tears from the turtle and they become really good friends. So it's a really good book for any child who's going through any sort of sadness or grief in their life, and it just shows that friendship can make everything better. So it's called Turtle Tears. You can get it on my website, sarahharralson.com, or Amazon or Barnes & Noble online as well.
Any more plans to write any more books?
I do have a couple ideas. I am currently doing another recording project, so you can look forward for music for me in the new year. And I do hope to write and release another book soon.
So, can you tell me more about your new single called Tennessee Christmas?
Yeah, so Tennessee Christmas I just released this past Friday. It's actually a cover of Amy Grant's original song, Tennessee Christmas, and other artists have done versions, such as Ashley Monroe. I really like her version, but it's always a Christmas and holiday song that's resonated with me since I live in Tennessee and have lived in Tennessee most of my life. So many of my Christmases in life have been spent here in Tennessee. And I've always had just such great memories here with Christmases. And it doesn't always snow here in Christmas. When we get snow, usually it's just a dusting or a few flurries. So I took my own spin on the song, and it's out on all streaming platforms for those who want to listen to it. And the song I released before Tennessee Christmas, Denim, that's out on all streaming platforms as well, and it's been out on country radio here in the United States.
So, are you going to be working on any new music in the near future?
Yes, I'm currently gearing up to record my next project in 2025, so I hope everyone will follow me on my socials at Sarah Harralson, and you can stay tuned for the latest updates with new music.
So, am I guessing, are you an independent artist?
So I'm actually signed now. I signed with a new publisher and label this year called Synapse Publishing and Entertainment, a female-owned company. And so I've been signed with them since May of this year. They've been so great to work with, and they helped me record and produce Tennessee Christmas as well as my latest single, Denim.
So, what's it like being a signed artist for you?
It's been great. I think there's always different things to compare between being an independent artist and signed artist. But it's really nice now that I'm signed just to have someone who's helping me with my recording my music and just helping get my music out there. And it's just been so nice to work with a female-owned company as well. And I'm actually going to be in a documentary next year that they are working on called Women Behind the Lyrics, where it shows about women from different backgrounds on the road and touring, and what it's like when you're a rising artist trying to make it out on the road.
So, finally, can you tell my listeners we're going to find you on your social media?
Yes, once again, you can follow me at Sarah Harralson on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of the social media, and then you can also find my music and my book at sarahharralson.com.
And thank you for letting me chat to you today.
Thank you, Ruben.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.